Today in my devotions, when I read Psalm 33 verses 6 and 9, it reminded me of something that I think sometimes we come to God kind of casually, forgetting who He really is. It says this: "The heavens were made by the word of the Lord, and all the stars by the breath of His mouth. He spoke, and it came into being. He commanded, and it came into existence." You see, this is in reference to how God created the world that we see in the beginning of Genesis. It says that God spoke, and the plants came. God spoke, and the sun, moon, and stars came. God spoke, and the moon and the heavens were all created. God spoke, and the animals were created. God spoke the whole world, everything that we know, into existence except for man. Man He created with His own hands. So that makes us different. But what this reminds me of is the power of God. God is supreme over everything. You know, so often we hear so much about the love of God, which is an amazing thing. It's all true. We hear and we think about, we dwell on the graciousness of God, the mercy of God. We kind of maybe get a little bit complacent and we think of Him as just this big cuddly grandfather type person or something. You know, we don't really have this fear and awe of Him like we did maybe at one time in our lives, because we've just been, we've just had all this good time with Him. But we need to never forget the power, the awesomeness, and the wonder of our God. He is not only the one who sent His Son to save us, who loved us enough to sacrifice His own Son for our well-being, for our opportunity to live with Him in heaven, but He is the one who created this universe. And He didn't have to hire a bunch of builders and contractors to put things together. He didn't hire engineers to figure it all out. He just spoke, and there it was. That is the power of God. That is the wonder and the awe that we should have for God because of that. You see, both parts of God are true. That amazing power, that power that could wipe us out at any second. But there's also the graciousness and the love of God. The two things are absolutely true in God, but we must never forget about the power of God. We must never come to Him with arrogance, but we must come to Him with humility and fear because of who He really is.